WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us at 10. It's no secret that East Mississippi Community College budget has caused controversy over the last few months. That was not the case tonight. EMCC's Board of Trustees were all smiles when they were read the findings from their annual internal audit. Our Quentin Smith, he was inside that boardroom when today's findings were released. He now joins us live in the studio with details. Quentin.
You're in good standing. Those are the words that were echoed following tonight's report. EMCC President Dr. Scott Alsobrook says last year there were millions of dollars in the hole. This time around, they're above water and they're in good standing. And student enrollment is something that's plaguing junior colleges everywhere, and EMCC is no different. The junior college went from having roughly 6,000 students on campus to now roughly 4,000. The enrollment decline impacts the school budget, so in order to get their good standing, Alsobrook said they had to make several budget cuts, with the majority of them being in the administration department.
We've lost some students there to the good labor market, and we've had some population declines in this area. 6 of our counties, I think 5, have experienced some population decreases. So we're dealing with that. The numbers in our high schools are down, across the district. So, we just had to deal with all these different areas where numbers are down, and we're making the adjustments. We made some tough decisions this past year and some tough cuts, but it's paid off. As our auditor presented tonight, it looked really good.
Back in August, the Lowndes County Board of Supervisors requested the state auditor's office come in and perform an audit on the school's finances. Tonight's audit was completely different from that report. At this time, there's no word on when the report from the state auditor's office will be released. Scott?
All right, Quentin, thanks so much. Well, the building blocks of the 21st century are digital, and less than half of Mississippi's public schools teach computer science. Courtney Ann Jackson has more on the latest push to change that.
C Spire has invested millions in supporting computer science in schools around Mississippi, but their new ad campaign suggests more has to be done.
Thank you for not requiring computer science in schools. Georgia did, so growing companies come here instead.
The ad is a dramatization, but the issue is one C Spire says is all too real.
In order to be able to see the drastic improvement that we need to see in our workforce, that it's going to take computer science education in schools. This is an opportunity for our kids, for their future. They're going to be left behind.
The campaign encourages the public to get on board with C Spire and gives you easy access to a form to write lawmakers and say you support legislation requiring K-12 computer science curriculum in all public schools.
We need people in Mississippi in our workforce with the skills needed to be able to fill those technology roles. And this is not something just for technology companies. This is for companies regardless of what industry that they're in, because technology impacts all of us in our day-to-day.
Clinton is one district that's already starting teaching computer science at younger ages.
The project of that person, and it's going to put it onto your iPad.
This 5th grade computer science class designed video games that reflect the storyline of a book they recently read. But those skills stretch beyond gaming.
I've seen kids who maybe didn't have great grades in English or great grades in math or even a lot of support at home, but they come in and they can code and they can solve problems and they can think critically and they soar in this class, and all of a sudden it turns something on for them that they can be a part of later in life that wasn't there before.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
The bill that would make computer science a requirement in Mississippi schools hasn't been filed but is being drafted. We'll keep an eye on its progress at the state capitol. Well, Lowndes County supervisors are ready to move forward with a governmental meeting group. The goal is to bring Columbus and Lowndes County leaders together to discuss challenges and successes. Supervisors Jeff Smith and Tripp Harrison will represent the county. The city has not selected its representatives. Smith says that he wants the governmental bodies to work together and hopefully find some common ground. He believes it's been about 6 years since the group last met.
Right now, we have no active weather out there, but however, we have very warm temperatures across our region. Temperatures still in the low and mid 60s across the region. That's our Health Insurance Camera Network. Keep in mind the average right now, mid 50s for the most part, so still about 10 degrees above that here at 10 o'clock at night. A new record today in Tupelo, 76 if you missed it. 75 was the high today in Columbus. Mostly cloudy skies. There are a few light showers trying to develop around here. Fairly light activity, but we will likely see the chance for some showers tomorrow. Sadie getting ready for summer already. Look at all that watermelon. It felt like summer today with those 70s. I think we're going to get back up into the upper 60s to low 70s tomorrow, but there will be a chance for some passing showers here. But our better storm chances will be tomorrow night into Wednesday. Scott, more on that coming up.
Keith, thanks so much. Well, even though campaigning and debates have been going on for months now, tonight is the real start of the 2020 presidential campaign for Democratic candidates. It's the voters' turn. The primary season opens with one of the most unique contests, the Iowa caucus. CBS's Natalie Brand has more on a tight race and how it works.
Iowa Democrats have begun gathering for tonight's caucuses, the first contest of 2020's primary season.
Electing a president is everybody's business, and if everybody can get on the same page, that's fine and great.
In the final hours of campaigning, Joe Biden delivered pizza to staffers and volunteers at a Des Moines field office and thanked them for their efforts.
I'm feeling good about today. Yeah. Get folks out.
Pete Buttigieg got in some FaceTime with voters and supporters of all ages in West Des Moines.
Do you give hugs?
You bet.
Some of the senators serving in Washington are heading back to Iowa and had to rely on surrogates earlier in the day.
It's been difficult with the schedule, obviously, but I've been out here talking about her, and she's already been to all 99 counties in Iowa.
According to CBS News polling, former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders are tied as the voters' first choice with 25% each. Pete Buttigieg is close behind, followed by Senators Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar.
Part of being Iowan is the gamesmanship of the night of and figuring out, like, okay, this is who I support, but are they viable?
A candidate needs the support of at least 15% of people in the room tonight. If they fall short, their supporters can back another candidate in what's known as realignment. While it's hard to predict who will come out on top, a good showing can impact momentum.
We have a saying that there's 3 tickets out of Iowa, the first, the second, and then the person who's kind of surprised us the most, if you will.
While just a fraction of eligible voters typically caucus, Democrats believe this year could surpass 2008 numbers when around 40% of registered Democrats turned out to caucus in Iowa. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Des Moines, Iowa.
This year, the Democratic Party is reporting 3 sets of numbers: the first alignment, the second alignment, and the number of delegates won. But the projected winner of the caucus will be the one with the most delegates. The closing arguments in the impeachment trial of President Trump have wrapped up. CBS's Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill, where the Senate, now a jury, has begun deliberations.
The senator from New Mexico.
The spotlight is now on the senators as they explain how they intend to vote in the impeachment trial of President Trump.
How much of our integrity should we sacrifice? How much malfeasance should we tolerate?
I cannot vote to convict. The Constitution provides for impeachment, but does not demand it in all instances.
White House defense lawyers blasted the charges against President Trump as partisan as they made their closing arguments for acquittal.
This entire campaign of impeachment that started from the very first day that the president was inaugurated was a partisan one.
House managers made a final plea for senators to remove the president from office.
We must say enough. He has betrayed our national security, and he will do so again. He has compromised our elections, and he will do so again.
The GOP-controlled Senate is expected to take a final vote Wednesday to acquit President Trump on both articles. In a Fox News interview that aired before the Super Bowl Sunday, President Trump cast doubt on being able to work with congressional Democrats in the future.
Well, I'd like to, but it's pretty hard when you think about it. I'm not sure that they can do it, to be honest.
Some Senate Democrats say they want the president to move past the moment to get back to work on the issues.
I think it would be a tragic mistake for him to conclude he cannot work with us. I think we should encourage our president to rise to this challenge.
President Trump called the proceedings a, quote, totally partisan impeachment hoax on Twitter Monday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin has called on the Senate to consider censuring President Trump for his actions regarding Ukraine. The moderate Democrat also says he's undecided on whether he will vote to acquit or convict the president. All right, we're going to send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, you said earlier a record high in, I think you said Tupelo.
Tupelo 76.
Wow.
75 in Columbus.
Hey,
still
I wish it would stay that way because, man, that's what I like.
You know, a lot of people are of that opinion. Some folks want the cold weather to stick around a little bit. I really wish the cold weather would stick around so that yard work wouldn't be creeping on up. I know it's getting close. Clouds fill in tonight, upper 50s for lows, worst case scenario. A shot at some more low 70s tomorrow. Some passing showers, but as I mentioned earlier, a chance for storms tomorrow night and Wednesday. More on that coming up.
For WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Spring-like temperatures mean spring fever, and that will give rise to some spring baseball. A lot of those fields getting ready to go. Look at that blue sky we had out there this morning. Not too bad at all. Warm weather yesterday and today. As we get into tomorrow, yes, it's still warm. Wednesday, yes, still warm. A front will move on through, and then we're back into some cooler weather, more winter-like air later this week, but nothing too extreme. Your next 3 days, 71 tomorrow, 70 or so on Wednesday, some rain and storms. The heaviest activity this week will be Wednesday if we're going to get it, with some lingering showers and back down to around 50 on Thursday. For tomorrow night, the threat is low for severe weather. Wednesday, we're going to keep it low, but these threat levels you see here that are in the low category, tornado, wind, and hail, they could go up or down a little bit more depending on how things set up on Wednesday as new information comes on in over the next 24 hours. So stay with us here on TV, also over at WCBI.com and our social media channels. Tomorrow night in the Northwest, a level 1 risk for some severe weather. That's probably not going to be the big story here with this event. Wednesday will have to be watched. Notice a broader area of activity that could develop here in the region. We have an intensifying jet stream across the midsection of the country. This will get even stronger, and some low-level winds closer to the surface will intensify too later this week. And the long story of all this, or the short story of all this, will be a chance for some active weather. So tonight, a few passing showers when you wake up in the morning. Just be aware there could be some rain around for the morning commute, but not an all-day washout tomorrow. As we mentioned, it's going to be a mild day, 60s and 70s in the region. Tomorrow evening, right out ahead of the actual cold front here in northwestern Mississippi, there could be a few strong gusty storms, but will they weaken before they slip into North Mississippi? That's a possibility, so we'll watch it. As we get into your Wednesday morning and then early afternoon, more showers and storms start to blossom, and across our southeastern counties here, Wednesday afternoon and early evening, there is a chance for some strong to severe storms, and that's what we're going to be watching out for your Wednesday out ahead of the front. The front moves on through, and then we get back on the colder side of this for Thursday. Cloud cover and some lingering showers here. Rainfall potential anywhere from about a ½ inch to maybe over 2 inches of rain with this setup. And again, we'll have the latest as time goes by. So stay tuned for the update tomorrow morning on Sunrise with Vanessa. And of course, we'll be in here tomorrow afternoon with even more updates. Warm for your Tuesday and Wednesday. As I just mentioned, Wednesday, the best chance for active weather. And of course, we will be on top of it. Lingering showers Thursday back down to around 50, and then our lows into the 30s Thursday night, Scott. So a bit of a roller coaster ride. A few more showers possible Saturday and also next Monday.
But it's been so nice. I actually raised my windows up yesterday and kept them up all night, and it was perfect.
It was very nice. And even this evening, if you go outside, we're still in the mid 60s, which is absurd for February.
We'll take it, though.
No,
we'll
I'm not
gladly take it. All right, thanks so much, Keith. Well, former Houston Hilltopper Chris Jones doing big things in last night's big game. More on the Super Bowl champ when we come back.
WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. We hear it all the time from our mothers, even our doctors, about eating a heart-healthy diet. We learn more tonight in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Brianna Cooper, a clinical dietitian at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. What is a heart-healthy diet? A heart-healthy diet includes low fat, low cholesterol, and low sodium. In tonight's edition of Health Talk with Baptist, we will discuss fats. There are several different types of fats: saturated, unsaturated, and trans. Saturated fats are known as bad fats and are found in whole milk, cream, and butter. They are also found in fatty meats such as ground beef, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, ribs, and ribeye steaks. Trans fats are also known as bad fats. Trans fats are found in stick margarine, shortening, fried foods, and some bakery items. Unsaturated fats are known as good fats and are found in canola and soybean oils. These fats provide omega-3 fatty acids, which may reduce the risk of heart disease. Some tips for reducing fat intake include: drain the fat off meat after cooking, remove the skin from poultry before cooking, and use healthier oils when cooking. Select cuts of meats ending in round and loin. Triglycerides are another form of fat in your blood. High levels of triglycerides increase your risk of heart disease. To To control your triglyceride levels, follow these tips. Get plenty of physical activity, limit intake of sugary foods and drinks, limit alcohol intake, and choose fats wisely. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist when we will discuss cholesterol.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Mississippi State football seems to have picked up a new QB. More on the latest Coach Leach transfer next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Mississippi State officially at the halfway mark in conference play. State hosting Georgia for an early season rematch. This dogfight not as scrappy as the one a month ago. Let's get to the Humphrey Coliseum. MSU moving up in the national ranks to number 8 before hosting the Bulldogs. Early in the first quarter, MSU trailing, Dogs in transition. Inside to forward Chloe Bibby, off the glass. Georgia up 6-3. Midway through the first, Georgia in the lead forward. Jessica Carter pulls up at the stripe. Money. State cuts it to a 4-point lead. Georgia up 11-5. Second quarter, State down 1. Guard Zaria Wiggins in the corner for 3. Nylon. State takes the lead 17-15. 2 minutes in the half. Off a Georgia turnover, forward Rakia Jackson banks it in and 1. Jackson with a career high of 24 points. Leads MSU past Georgia 67-53. Bulldogs the winner of 8 SEC matchups. Dogs head to 23rd ranked Tennessee coming up on Thursday. Over on the gridiron, Mississippi State head coach Mike Leach making moves in the offseason, going shopping in the transfer portal and bringing back to Starkville with him a new QB. Former Stanford quarterback KJ Costello announcing on Twitter that he will officially be transferring to State and spend his final year of eligibility under Coach Leach. Coach Leach, the commander of the air raid offense, in need of a consistent passer. Costello might just fit that mold. In 4 seasons at Stanford, Costello completed 63% of his passes, throwing for over 6,000 yards and 49 touchdowns. Costello will be immediately available to play for Mississippi State next season. Super Bowl 54 is officially in the books. The Kansas City Chiefs topping the San Francisco 49ers 31-20 down in Miami. This one hitting close to home because not only are the Chiefs Super Bowl champs, so is Houston native and former Hilltopper, Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones. And if this video doesn't make you nostalgic, I'm not sure what does. This is where Jones started, on the gridirons of Houston, a small Mississippi town populated by no more than 3,500 people. Sunday, Jones recorded a tackle for loss and an assist in front of more than 100 million people across the country on football's biggest stage. Jones has a message for his hometown of Houston. Take a listen.
Houston, Mississippi, man, without a doubt, this for y'all. This for y'all. This for everybody, you know what I'm saying, that helped me along the way. My small town, Mississippi State, Hale State family. Man, this was for the young kids in Houston, Mississippi that feel like, you know, it's so hard to make it out, but there is a way. There is a way that you can make it out. You know what I'm saying? It's all about pushing yourself and creating a work ethic for yourself. And the sky's the limit, man. The sky's the limit.
Over on the pitch, the Saltillo Tigers hosting Lafayette in a 5-girls, 6 North soccer half-final matchup. Lady Doors get on the board first. Julia Perkins with a beautiful touch. Leads Hudson Lindsay, who does the rest, gets past the goalkeeper, finishes with the score. Lafayette up 1-0 at half. Saltillo comes alive in the second half. Off the throw-in, ball gets in front of the net. Abby Covington alone on the backside. Saltillo with the equalizer. Tied up at 1. 3 minutes later, Lady Tigers strike again. Caitlin Carnathan with the cross goes off the top of the crossbar and into the goal. Saltillo takes a 2-1 lead. The defending champs don't go silently. It's Lindsay again, this time carving up the Saltillo defense. An exception goal in the 71st minute. Lady Doors tie it late, 2-2 going into OT. Now for some extra soccer. Lafayette takes care of business. Saltillo trying to clear the tackle by Perkins. The cross into the box. The header by Lindsay. Lafayette leads 3-2. And the dagger off the throw in Perkins to Lily Grace McCutcheon. An incredible goal to give Lafayette the 4-2 win. Here's the Lady Dwarfs after the game.
This team has a lot more character than I gave them credit for, that's for sure. They dug deep and they're like, you know what, we don't want to go out just yet, and they were able to put it back in the net, and that's exactly what I can ask for, only thing I can ask for.
We were down, which was a little nerve-wracking, but we still had 20 minutes left, and so Coach just said, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. That's what we did, and we were able to tie it up and push into overtime, so I think that was really exceptional of us.
So Scott, Lafayette headed back to the 5A state title. We'll see if they can come home with that championship win.
Awesome for them. And real quick, I want to go back to Chris Jones. How cool. I love what he said there. The sky is the limit.
Oh,
Some
man.
great advice from him right there.
You can't write a story better than
that's
that.
awesome. All right, thanks, Courtney. Well, let's look at your forecast when we come back.
Oh, hey, there's our
I hope we ain't got 2 minutes, Keith.
Not 2 minutes, less than 30 seconds down. Some showers possible tomorrow, and then some rain and storms Wednesday. Oh, we'll keep watching for you.
You know, with this nice weather we've had, I guess we got to have a little bump on Wednesday.
Hey, that's what happens.
Get rid of it, Keith.
It's Mississippi. Have a good night, everybody.